I'm Leon Thomas, the host of Real Thoughts and Conversation. Today, we're going to have an informative show, a fun show, and one that I think will be uplifting to many as well. I'm Leon Thomas. You're here for Real Thoughts and Conversations. Here we go. I'm Leon Thomas. Thanks for watching this special edition of Real Thoughts and Conversations. Usually we're here together Wednesdays at 7 o'clock on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. But today we have a special edition of Real Thoughts and Conversations. I'd like to go ahead and bring our guest on. I'll tell you their names and I'll allow them 30 to 45 seconds to introduce themselves. First, we have Jimmy Adams. Jimmy, how you doing?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jimmy Adams, and I was born in a little shack in Tupelo, Mississippi, about 1937. And I'm still here, and I'm still around. And I'm currently the brand performance director for G6 Hospitality.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for being here. We have Chris Adams here. Chris, how you doing?
Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Adams. I am the area general manager for the Spring Hill Suites and the Town Place Suites in what seems to be very cold Boca Raton, Florida today. Certainly happy to be with everyone.
All right, great. And we have Frank Kelly. Frank, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, everybody. Pleasure to be on this great podcast. Thanks for having me. I am the Director of Brand Performance for G6 Hospitality down in the southern region. And again, just happy to be here.
All right, great. I'm glad you all are here. Now, I've known all of you for a long, long time. I've worked together with you, worked with you, various capacities of our relationships at work and personal friendships. And I'm very pleased that y'all are here today because you three are some of the most positive people, that I know. And you've mastered the art of getting people to do better, getting people to see more in them than they think they have in themselves. And you do so in a non-threatening manner that's fun. So I'm looking forward to having a great, fun conversation today for the next 25 minutes or so. So now here's what led us to where we are today. Chris, you made a post about a week and a half ago that talked about continuing down the positive road that you're on. Don't stop. Don't give up. Tell the viewers some about that post and what led you to do it and your thought process as it relates to being positive and goal setting. Go ahead.
I appreciate that, Leon. And I think the real basis of the post and really what it was talking about is, you've got this. And I think all of us are on a journey. All of us have goals. We have aspirations. We have things that we're working towards, growing through. And many times, once adversity hits, when obstacles hit, when things kind of come against us, we lose our way. We lose focus. We lose momentum. And a lot of times, what we need is a nudge. I've had many mentors along the way who continue to encourage me, and they see something in myself, like you mentioned, that I may not see, in myself. And I think the crux of what I wrote last week was, many times we don't see the finish line, not because it's so far away, but because we're standing on top of it. We're a lot closer than we think. And so we just need to keep moving. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep pressing, to get to the mark, and it will come. And we just have to stay focused and resilient, and we'll certainly exceed our wildest beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Great. Now, Frank, you and I have worked together in various capacities. We have a great friendship. And the thing that I've admired so much about you is that you get people to do things that are way beyond what they probably think that they can do. And you do it in a way and still have fun making it happen? What's the secret? How do you do this? How do you get people that don't report to you to do what they're supposed to do better than they think they can do? How? How does this happen?
Well, Leon, thank you for that compliment. But I'm going to tell you, for me, it's about having great people around you and celebrating the people that are around you and giving credit to those folks. And then, when tough things happen, it's easy because you've got great people around you to get through it. And it makes it a whole lot easier then to go out and ask somebody else to do something because you've lived it. You've gone through it. And you're humble enough to get out of other people's way and allow them to shine. So, I'm blessed to have great friends like yourself, like Jim, who can say, hey, you are a great resource for me to go stay and be positive and then pull others along the way. So, I credit the people around me more so than I do myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned Jimmy. Let's bring him on. Jimmy, you and I first met when I was a temporary manager.
All right. Let me shine a flashlight on you one time, bro. Look good there, son.
My man, you haven't changed.
20 years ago?
We met longer than that. 20 years ago when I was a general manager, temporary GM
Springfield, Virginia.
in Springfield, Virginia, right?
Yeah.
And here's the guy from corporate coming to check out my hotel. And of course, corporate's coming. I'm all nervous about how things are going to go. And you walked in and set me at ease like 30 seconds into just the greeting. Hi, how you doing? And I mean, how do you do it? I mean, I've experienced it, but what's the magic? What's the secret? Fill me in.
So Leon, Frank, everybody, Jay and Chris, to me, it's about leadership. It's about leadership. And leadership has its, own kind of nuances built around it, but you got to work hard. You got to work hard, right? And you got to be humble, and you got to give credit to everybody that takes care of the guest for you. It takes care of the franchise for you. You got to give them credit. Be humble. Give recognition, and celebrate the little things that make a difference. And then you got to have fun. You got to have fun built around that. But to me, it's about building relationships. It's about building trust. It's about being supportive, understanding, staying positive. And when you've been through some of the ringers that I've been through with some of the mentors I've had, it just kind of rubs off on you, setting that example for leadership. And you got to get people to do things that you don't want them to do. You got to get them to trust you. You got to show them that there's opportunity there, and show them and help them with their potential. Because a lot of times they're not getting that support from anywhere else, and they need that. And sometimes I'm the only face they see of the franchise. So I want to make that a real positive experience, and I want to help them along the way as they grow in their career path. And they usually help me, and the more successful they are, the more successful I become, and the franchise and everybody benefits from that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Chris and Jimmy, I've seen that happen, by the way. I've seen folks that you've worked with, and I've seen the change in them because of you and the respect that folks have for you. Frank, the same thing with you, and also with you, Chris. Now, what I'd like to do for this next part of our conversation together, Chris, we want to start with you on this one. Without mentioning someone's name, right? I want you to talk about a success story, right? That you've seen someone do better, someone has improved, either because of something that you saw them do, something maybe that you helped them through, or even someone else guided them through. Tell us about a success story of someone believed in someone worked with someone gave them an opportunity. Go ahead and share one. And Jimmy and Frank will come to you for an answer to that, to hear that success story. Because I think a lot of folks need to hear that things happen. We hear this, oh, here's a success story, it's a success story, and all of that stuff. We hear it. But I think in a format like this, when it's pinpointed, it's going to mean something to a lot of people. Go ahead, Chris.
No, and I think my distinguished colleague is going to really relate to this. I think in the hospitality industry, we live and die by reviews and by scores. There was a hotel that I actually got sent to. The hotel was in the red zone. It was really struggling with regards to the scores. There was no consistency. It was just a lot of misdirection. We had 6 months to turn it around. And I think what we were able to do as a unit, and we didn't replace any staff at all, it's the same staff. They actually, we gave a belief to them. We got them to feel like they were going to be a part of something tremendous. It was going to be huge. And I think once we actually set that vision and set the story that this can happen, irregardless of what has happened, they started to believe that, and they started to really, work with one another to lift each other up. So I think once we put the vision in an individual heart, it became a collective vision. And the scores actually went up 25 points in a 6-month period, same staff, but everybody was believing, holding each other accountable, and continuing to encourage each other. It was just a phenomenal thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, Chris, also, when you made that post a couple of weeks ago, there were many people who responded to that saying, thank you, I needed it, thank you, I needed it. But there were also a lot of people that called you out and said, thank you for doing what you've done for me. Thank you, Chris, for helping me through this. So although, you just talked about a team, and yes, there's a lot of team effort in hospitality and many businesses, I want to make sure that our viewers know that you do a great job at what you do, and it was recognized after that post on LinkedIn that we're referencing now. So thank you for what you do.
I appreciate that. And I think the bottom line too is, there are those who motivate us, who keep us going when perhaps we want to stop. And I think that we have a responsibility to lift each other up. And so it's not just me with someone else. It's a full circle. So I'm just doing my part. But thank you.
Great. Thank you. Frank, let's go to you. Tell us a situation where clearly these folks, a team, an individual did better because of the way they thought, the way they were guided through something. Go ahead, Frank.
Well, I think back to a property that I had the opportunity to work with a company when I was working with you, Leon, and it was really about identifying, and Chris kind of touched on it. You get in and the reviews were saying one thing, and I'm looking at the people, and I'm seeing themselves pour themselves into the work, right? But there wasn't transparency around what the goals were. There wasn't a lot of training around how to execute against those goals. So it was really about setting the stage. Let's build the culture. Let's be transparent on where we're trying to get to. Let's make sure we have our training in place, and then celebrating all the steps along the way. For me, that's really where opportunity lies, in saying, hey, let's celebrate the little things. Let's make a big deal about the little things, because that gets us more in the environment of wanting to keep moving forward. With any goal, there's always challenges, there's always obstacles. And sometimes those can be big enough that they get in the way of us fully achieving, but it's the celebration along the way and having good people around you that allow you to keep moving forward. So for me, with that property, we were able to, like Chris had with his success, we were able to identify, build the right culture, celebrate some things along the way, and ultimately able to achieve a whole different environment from where people were really talking bad about the guest stay experience to really thoroughly enjoying the guest stay experience.
Mm-hmm. Great. Frankie, thank you. And again, as I share with everyone, and I will with you here now, I've been on that end with you. When we first met, I was a director of sales at a hotel, and you provided some guidance to help along the way, and I've seen you do it for others as well. So thank you, Frank. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. And now, Jimmy, go ahead and share a story yourself. Now, go ahead and tell us about that time you've seen something change because of the way folks are thinking, the way they're looking at it. Go ahead, and then after this, we're going to go to a brief break. Go ahead, Jim.
So I inherited a property over in Allegheny County in Maryland, toward West Virginia, and Frank and I worked hand in hand with this individual manager, and this manager is from Kathmandu, Nepal. and she was been there 4 years. But when I inherited it 4 years ago, property wasn't. They had some struggles. They had some challenges. So we went in, we set some expectations, we set up some goals, we shared information with the staff. We started working with the staff one by one. We put a lot of resources and tools in place to try to get some energy going, because hotel's about people, and without people there's no energy. So we had to make it come alive, and we started working with the individuals there and being on point, meeting the guest, putting the guest in the right room at the right location at the right price, of course, so they could see the value there. We worked really hard to get all the rooms renovated and get them up to where we need them to be. And the person she needed a mentor. She was there supportive and without a car, so she was there most of the time, basically 7 days a week. And now and then we'd take a vacation trip to Baltimore. She was from Baltimore, but so she could see her family and all. But I never saw a person work so hard and so dedicated and committed to making that happen. And it was about the people. And she wanted to be, successful. She was successful in other careers. This was her first hotel job in the hotel industry. So we had a lot of fun time, a lot of stories and things like that, of course. But we went from, like in Chris' example there, we went from a 3.1 to a 4.63 out of 5 on our online reviews. And our goal at corporate is to be higher than a 3.5. So she was achieving a higher threshold on all our criteria: cleanliness, condition, friendliness, and her online reviews. And she had zero complaints to the guest relations department at the company. So this year, after 4 years, she's been nominated to be not just area manager for my area of my region, but for the entire region, manager of the year. And let me tell you, that person, she will not take credit for anything that she did. She's very humble. She's a good leader, and she leads by example, and she works very hard. And I'm very proud to have been the one to help mentor her along the way. So once again, all of us probably got several stories like that, but it took a lot of hard work and dedication and commitment and just a lot of love and caring. I will give you this much. Part of our philosophy here at G6 is we are adamant that we provide a heart for service, and we teach in our training classes how a heart for service makes a difference. We show that we care for our employees, which I call it communication, anticipation, and respond with enthusiasm. We show respect to one another. We look for our blind spots, and we own the experience. So owning the experience is the big part. You've got to follow up. And if someone says that, their toilet was blocked up or something like that, and they call the front desk sends management up, well, we're going to make sure that guest is happy with whatever we did to solve that issue. And we're going to contact that guest and do the follow-up to make sure that everything is okay. So we try to put it all together in a nutshell. And sometimes it works very well, and sometimes you just got to keep working at it. And that's what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jim, for what you do. I've seen the improvement that you've helped businesses obtain. I've seen the change in individuals, the positive thought process that they've started using thanks to you. So thank you so much on behalf of all those that you've worked with. Thank you for what you do.
You're very kind.
Now, when we come back from break, we're going to have some fun. No, we're not going to talk about construction, and we're not going to talk about duck pin bowling. We're going to talk about having fun at work, particularly in the hotel business. We're going to share some fun stories, some funny stories, some great moments. We're going to go now to our sponsors. We're going to hear from our friends at the Smoke Shack. We're going to hear about a new movie that's coming out in February called Fallen from the Sky. And we're going to have a special message from the water industry. We'll be back after this break.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What would we do without it?
All right, we're back on Real Thoughts and Conversations. I'm Leon Thomas. I figured you guys would like that water piece. I figured you would. Now, here's the thing that I want you to know about all three of those spots. Those were done by folks that are on the team at Leon Thomas and Associates. The editing, the voice, the music, everything, that's all done in-house at Leon Thomas and Associates. So all of you mentioned that you have to have good people. We have good people, and I want to highlight one of them right now. That's our producer, Dr. J. Dr. J's in the background making this happen, make sure that things look good and sound good. Dr. J's been nominated for several podcast and webcast awards, and he's in the final 10 for 2 of those organizations, and we will find out in a few weeks where he plays. So thank you, Dr. J, for the work that you do. Jimmy, Frank, I like the hat action. You're sporting the fedoras and the message look and everything. And Chris, I've been around you. You're sharp as a tack also. What's going on? So I know. Oh no, he's got the glasses and everything again. All I got is a construction hat. That's all I can bring to the table today. I don't have anything else. But let's talk about some fun in the hotel business. Frank, we're going to you first. Tell us a funny story, something that happened that you'll never forget. Share it with our audience. A lot of times folks go to work, they don't have fun, they don't recognize the fun that they're having. Go ahead, the floor is yours. Share us. We're going to go Frank, then we're going to go to Jimmy, then we're going to go to Chris. And Chris, you and I will talk some after you go ahead and tell us your fun anecdotal moment. Go ahead, Frank.
Listen, I have the best job in the world right now. I say that not because I'm employed with them, but I genuinely love the people I'm around. I will tell you, one of the funniest, best jobs was actually a job I had coming up when I was the director of sales at a property here in Richmond. And we had fun every day. Like it was stuffed into everything we did. I remember us celebrating Thanksgiving by working with one of the restaurants that brought turkeys in. We created a turkey bowl out front. We did a golden Easter egg hunt. We rented an ice cream truck and parked in front of a business park and handed out ice cream sandwiches. We did all kinds of stuff just to have fun. And that was just the environment that we had. And I always reference that job and that time. And I'm very thankful for that manager because he did a great job of educating me early on how to have fun and get work done at the same time.
All right, good deal. Thank you, Jimmy. Go ahead. Tell us about fun in the business.
Well,
go ahead.
Do you want to hear about the time that Frank and I almost got arrested for pretending we were the Blues Brothers in the middle of a big show that John Belushi's brother was doing out in Vegas?
Please, yes. Go ahead and tell us that one. Yes.
You want to hear that? Well, we decided that we'd want to get backstage with Jim Belushi, so we thought the best way was in the middle of this hotel convention was if we got up on the floor and put our black jackets on and black ties and white shirts and black hats and black glasses, we might get some attention. We got some attention, all right. We had the supervisors from our company come and drag us off the floor and say, Jim Belushi can't have anybody in the audience. They think you're part of the show. They're gonna arrest you guys. He can't do any Blues Brothers stuff here. So long story short, Frank and I got taken backstage, and when the concert was over, Jim Belushi came up and gave us both a kiss and a hug, and we got pictures with him. So it was a fun time. So that was one incident Frank and I were involved in. And I'll stick on the Blues Brothers theme. We had a hotel contest. This was early, Leon, about 6 a.m. at a bowling alley somewhere out in Arlington, Virginia. And it was us against us and our sales department against the Marriott Key Bridge and their sales department. So we went to the bowling alley. We figured we'd do something a little crazy. So me and assistant manager got a pair of handcuffs, handcuffed the bowling ball to us, handcuffed the boombox to us, put our Blues Brothers outfits on, and went right onto the bowling alley. Now, I don't bowl at all. I hardly bowl at all. I know you guys are experts with duck pins and stuff. But me and my buddy there, we got up there and we took our turns. And lo and behold, before we knew it, there was a radio station there. And we were just, talking about our restaurant and what a good shrimp cocktail we have. And, 5 strikes in a row. They thought I was a real professional bowler. I didn't know nothing about bowling. And, we just had a good old time. We were on the radio and everything, got a lot of exposure for our property, and all the employees had a great time. And we got back, and we'd already put away about probably 3 or 4 big things of beer. So, it was early. So we had some pizza, and all the employees had a big party. And, this is stuff we used to do at that hotel all the time. I had a prop room full of costumes. Whenever there was a holiday or a theme or whatever you wanted to call it, and we had a bus group coming in, I met the bus group, got up on the group, welcomed them to Washington, D.C., always dressed in some kind of costume, whether it was Uncle Sam, Santa Claus, or Elvis Presley, or a turkey, or a dinosaur, depending on whatever we had available. And we just had a good kick out of it, and we got a lot of nice compliments over it. And
all right.
It was just creativity. So
Yeah.
It was kind of like, how do you stuff 10 pounds of creativity into a 5-pound bag, marketing without money? And that's how we did it. And we had a lot of fun with it.
All right, cool. Thank you, Jim. Chris, go ahead. The floor is yours. Tell us about fun in the business.
It pales comparison to Jimmy and his bowling, but a couple of come to mind. I'm from North Carolina, and I think it's tried and true that when it comes to snow, we don't do a very good job of getting to work or traveling very well. And I can remember, a couple of instances where the hotel that I was managing at the time was extremely busy. And, we actually had some individuals who stayed over, and it was a busy day. But I just remember, an instance where we were all outside, several of us were outside, and we're trying to shovel the lot, and somebody just very innocently threw a snowball at someone in good fun. And thankfully the other person took it that way. And it just erupted into this fun snowball fight amongst the employees. And I just remember having a good time outside. It was cold. It was, 6-7 inches of snow on the ground. Hotel was packed and we were tired, but it was just that impulsive, moment where we just had a good time and just, captured the moment of the situation. And there was one other time, there was a hotel we'd just taken over, and it was around Thanksgiving. And, we took a chance to say, we need to have a Thanksgiving, lunch, with the staff members. And I made a point to say, I want you to bring, your significant other, your kids. And we probably had, 100, 120, 130 individuals who showed up for this. And just the comments that we got where people just had a good time. They were able to meet other spouses and kids and got to know each other on a personal level. And that was just not only fun, it was heartwarming. And I think that really set the stage to really create a foundation and a culture where everyone really felt a part of something. So those are two situations where fun and camaraderie came hand in hand.
Great. Thank you. Now I'm gonna share a story in about the 2 to 3 minutes we have left, and then I'm not gonna take the full 2 to 3 minutes. But way back when I was an intern in the Robert Morris College athletic department, we had a basketball game, in our old gym, and there was a leak in the gym. And for whatever reason, they decided not to cancel the game. And there were 2 spots on the court that were leaking. And they said to me, Leon, find some kids that came to the basketball camp and tell them when the play goes out on this end, we want them to come out with a towel and wipe the floor. And the play goes over here, we want them to come out with a towel and wipe the floor. And we're going to leave towels in place. And it became known as the towel game. So I asked this young man if he would help, and I asked his brother if he would help, and they did. And there were no injuries during the game, and the towels were never touched. It was called the towel game at Robert Morris College. So fast forward about 25 years from that. I'm managing a hotel near the BWI airport. I'm working a front desk shift, the morning shift. A young man, a guest, comes to the front desk and says, I'd like to check out. And he looks at me and says, I know you. And I said, you don't know me. He says, I'm telling you, I know you. I said, okay, where do you know me from? He goes, Robert Morris, the towel game. I'm like, yeah, you had to be there. You know, nobody not there doesn't know, right? And he says, yeah, I was one of the little kids. I go, come on, stop, no way. He says, yeah. And we talked and had a good time. So he got his receipt. He leaves. The next guest that comes to check out, I want to check out. He tells me his room number. I ask, how was your stay? He says, great. Boom, boom, boom. We hear this overhead noise. All of a sudden, splash! The guy was drenched with sludge, standing right there at the front desk. It's just pouring out of this broken pipe. Drops all over him, right? He's wearing a tan suit. And he goes, oh no, what am I going to do? I've got a big presentation in 2 hours. I can't go like that. The kid says, yeah, but it would be memorable. Imagine how you'll smell. They'll remember you just because of the smell. You should wear the suit. You know, we're all laughing and everything. He says, come on, we got to do something. What are we going to do? Well, guests and employees figured out a way to get this guy something to wear. We've got guests saying, here's a pair of shoes. What size shoe do you wear? Here, wear this. Here's my tie. I got an extra shirt in my room. Then go get my shirt. Employees are we're all doing this thing. We put this guy together. And he comes back and he says, wow. This is unbelievable. I can't believe what happened. And everybody came to my rescue. And so from that point forward, when that guest wanted to make a reservation, he would say, hi, it's me, the sludge guy. Yeah, when do you want to stay? I'm the sludge guy. And so it became like this running joke around the hotel about the sludge guy. So who's staying in 315? Oh, the sludge guy, and so forth, so on. And it was just a great time. But, right at that moment, you're not thinking it's going to turn into something fun and all that. And it's so interesting how the fun that we can have in so many businesses, the fun that we can have, the relationships we can build that I've built with the three of you, producer Dr. J, if you could bring all of our guests onto the screen. Just in knowing how the three of you have impacted lives, and from those that have told you and from those that you have that haven't said anything to you about it. I mean, you guys are the best, and it starts with your thinking. And so here's what I want to do as we close. We're going to go in this rotation. Chris, you'll go first, Frank second, Jimmy third. I want you to talk to our viewers and give them a positive, something that if they didn't catch the beginning of the show, they didn't catch the middle, they don't know you, they don't know me. If they listen to this last 1 minute of what you say, that it's going to stay with them forever. Go ahead.
What I would say is, whatever you're going through right now, it's not in vain. We make mistakes. We've had setbacks. We've had situations that, perhaps we created to put ourselves in a tough situation. But these experiences are designed to help us, take us, and lead us to the next level. So what I will tell the viewers and listeners today is, no matter what kind of mistakes you've made, whatever has happened to you, you're in a new moment and you have a new opportunity to really apply the lessons that you have learned and give yourself permission to rise up and go to the next level. I think we can all do it. And sometimes we just have to give ourselves a pep talk and say, you know what? We've got this. We've got this. We may not see the finish line, not because it's so far away, but because we're standing on top of it. Stay focused.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I love that, Chris. Hey, I would tell you this. Life's a story, and we get to write that story. And as long as we've got good people around us, and I would tell you, evaluate the people around you, make sure that the people around you are not there for transactional purposes. They're there for you. And then go tell that story, right? And have fun. Have fun in your efforts to pursue writing as many stories about your life and the challenges that you have, the challenges that you've overcome. That to me is the real key to everything. Have a whole bunch of fun. Have it with good people around you, and celebrate all those things through. And when you get to a moment of adversity, those good people will pull you through.
All right. And Jimmy.
Well, Leon, folks, let me tell you this. It's about the NETMA meetings. Everybody ever have a NETMA meeting? A NETMA meeting is a nobody ever tells me anything meeting. So I'm going to have a meeting on a small huddle with my team every morning, and they're going to have donuts and coffee and all kinds of good things. And I'm going to tell them everything they need to know about what happened last, who's checking in, what's going on at the hotel, what the goals are. How can you achieve a goal if you don't know what it is? How do you achieve a goal? You don't know where you started, and then we'll help you get there, and this is where we want to end up at. So to me, it was about the NETMA meetings and having fun and treating everybody just like they're part of the family, because they're there more time than they are sometimes with their own family. So if you're having some blues, make up a song, sing a song, teach everybody a one word of English. They'll teach you one word of Spanish, put out a big bulletin board, a big poster board, and write stuff on it, and just communicate, anticipate, and respond with enthusiasm. Your team will take you where you need to be. Show them you care. Just show them you care. Recognition makes a big difference in the hotel industry.
All right. Jimmy, Chris, Frank, thank you. Thank you all for being here on the show. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for making this a fun time for everyone. I'd like to thank producer Dr. J in the background making this all happen. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Nothing happens without you. I want to encourage everyone to join us next week right here on Real Thoughts and Conversations. Another special episode next week. We're going to have Jennifer Grant. Jennifer Grant will be our special guest. She is a personal brand expert. You don't want to miss it. Thanks again. Thanks for watching Real Thoughts and Conversation. Here we go.